Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I have a pretty exciting announcement to make, and that is that this video is actually part 1 of a new series that I'm going to be starting on this channel. I have decided to design a deck of playing cards, so 52 cards, probably including jokers. So this series will be at least 52 parts long, but it has the potential to be nearer to 54 or 55, depending on what I decide to include in the end. I'm not sure if I will be uploading this weekly or not, but it is something that you will be able to expect fairly frequently in the future, even though I will still be uploading other time lapses and art pieces in the future. I've had this idea in the works for a pretty long time, and I have a lot of ideas revolving around this concept of a deck of cards, and some of the ideas I have are actually outside of the context of the deck of cards. So I will leave you with that information as a little bit of a teaser into the future, and see if you can figure out what I mean by that. When this series is complete, I will be printing decks of cards that will be available for purchase, and I know that will be fairly far into the future, but I wanted to put that out there as a way of holding myself accountable in a way. Before I get more into the project itself, I kind of want to mention that this piece that I'm working on right now is actually the 2 of clubs, and I didn't want to get into aces yet because technically aces are the highest value card in the deck, so I sort of wanted to save them for last. Probably the ace of spades will be the last card that I do, just because. So as for why I chose this project, I feel as though I tend to work best when I have a fairly large scale project in the works while I am also working on other things. A while back it was my Skillshare class, and I guess by a while I mean a couple weeks ago, which I recently finished it, and I was feeling like I needed something else to work on. And actually I had come up with the concept for this a long while ago, but I had recently thought of it again while I was in the middle of working on my Skillshare class, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to do as a YouTube series. As of right now, I am planning to do all of these cards in watercolor, but that may change in the future, I'm not sure. But I figured for the first card, I wanted to do something that was very representative of my style right now and how I feel I wanted to represent myself in these cards. And what I've found kind of fun is the symbolism that I'm actually putting into these cards, and I may talk about that more in the future in future pieces. But for this one specifically, I used the number 2 as a sort of jumping off point, and the number 2 in number symbolism is often used to represent the dueling sides of human nature. And that was sort of something I was trying to represent in this piece, was a person split in half, with one side very soft and gentle with flowers and just very natural and almost pastel looking, and then the other side very dark, and the face is slightly sunken in and misshapen, and I wanted to work with that contrast specifically for the number 2. And I will continue in the future with these cards to incorporate number symbolism and also somewhat the symbolism of the suits themselves into the cards, just because I feel like it's a fun take on it, and it's very true to the type of thing that I like to do. And I thought with this project that it would be a fun way to sort of push myself in a way that I haven't really before. And I've done a lot of larger scale projects before, the biggest of which being a 100-day project that I did on 4x4 canvas panels, where I did different things. I did a lot of acrylic abstracts on them, even though I ended up doing a bunch of faces near the end. But that was fairly open for interpretation, and I had days where I didn't do something as fancy as other days, and I was very loose, and sometimes I would just put a single black brush stroke and call it done. And I liked those pieces. They were actually some of my favorites, but for this I wanted to try to push myself even further to create 52 at least pieces that went together in a cohesive way and that were very representative of not only my style but to the actual symbolism of the cards themselves. And it's probably the biggest scale, most daunting project I've ever taken on, but I am more than happy to be sharing that with you guys, because I feel as though sharing things when we're working on them, large scale projects especially, helps keep us accountable. So I feel in a way that creating this deck of cards as a YouTube series is a good way to keep myself motivated to keep working on it and just keep plugging along on it, even though there is a good possibility that it will take over a year to complete. Even if I do create a piece every week, it will still take over a year if I decide to do jokers, and if I don't decide to do jokers, then I still have all of the editing of the cards. So I knew that if I didn't have someone to hold me accountable, that it would never get done. And this is something that, like I said before, I have been thinking about for a very long time, and so I really, really wanted to do it and finally take the leap. So I'm super excited to actually have started on this piece, because I have been thinking about it for so long. And as of right now, I know I'm near the beginning of a project, but I've done some more brainstorming and some more research about different cards, and I have a few more ideas rolling around in my brain. And as of right now, I'm feeling really, really, really excited about where this project will go in the future. And I think it will be interesting to see how the cards themselves progress. And I also think that even if I do improve in my artwork itself, I think it kind of works because I'm starting with lower value cards and working my way into the higher value cards. So it's kind of representative of that in a way, of that increasing skill in the increasing number of cards. So I find that very interesting as well. So I hope you guys are just as excited about this project as I am. So if you have any projects that you're working on, I would love to hear about them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.